Okay, so we have two questions that are close enough to answer in one video here. So Larry Sturm and Stan Ribka asked, with your hand, wrist, and extended arm, exactly how do you hold the slingshot all the way through to the release? Now this was Larry asking that, and specifically with the Ocularis style slingshot. And Stan asked, please explain the importance of follow-through as it relates to slingshot accuracy. Okay, whether it's an Ocularis style slingshot or not, makes no difference. The concept of follow-through is simply doing it the same way every time. Now I'm going to use an example from the archery world because there's a lot of crossover with the actual muscle groups that we use to hold our slingshots in the correct position that cross over into archery. And that's back tension. So the rhomboid muscles in the back, actually a group of muscles, the levator scapula, the trapezius, and the rhomboids, need to work together to create back tension. Now that back tension is more critical in heavy draws like archery than it is with a slingshot because we have really light bands. But by engaging those muscles, we can give ourselves a bigger muscle group to focus on to help us maintain our alignment. So to find the rhomboids or the muscles that I'm describing, take the thumbs up here, put your hands behind your back, and where your thumbs are touching, that's about your rhomboids. Or you could imagine that you're trying to squeeze your shoulder blades together and say hold a tennis ball or orange between your shoulder blades. In doing so, that's engaging that muscle group. That's a part of your follow-through. Next, whether you're shooting with a fixed facial anchor or a floating anchor, you want to make sure that you do it the same way every time. You're going to hear that a lot. As far as follow-through with the hand, with a pickle fork style slingshot, a lot of folks will intentionally flick the slingshot upon release. That's not going to work as well with a non-pickle fork style slingshot, but it is not to say that you can't achieve great accuracy with a flick, even using a through the forks configuration, even on an Ocularis slingshot. The key is that you do it the same way every time. Now in a perfect world, if you understand the physics and the simple geometry of a good shot, in that your elbow on your release hand is in line with your bands all the way out to your anchor hand, as demonstrated here, that upon release, you want to make sure you maintain that. Now, stepping back to the thought of squeezing an orange between your shoulder blades, if you can engage those muscles upon your draw, you'll feel more solid in your draw. You're not necessarily using your arm muscles, of course, they're being engaged there. But by squeezing those muscles in your back, you're giving your body a little bit more feedback on what it feels like to be in that anchored position. Then upon release, of course, the tension is going to go away. The biggest instinct or simple physics is that for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. Our hand back here is going to tend to move backwards and away because it's released, it's no longer holding the bands. And the hand up front, your frame holding hand, is going to have a tendency to fall or push forward. Those are okay. The key is do it the same way every time. If you feel like having a very static frame hold gives you more consistent results, then that's how you ought to shoot. If you've shot for a long time and developed a flick and it's working for you, that's how you ought to shoot. The key is consistency, doing it the same way every time. Follow through is simply making sure that you start the shot cycle the same way and end it the same way every time, meaning that your follow through is done the exact same way. If you draw back and you flick, you end it on a flick with your hand moving away. I've seen a lot of folks have a flamboyant release hand. That's fine if that's how you do it every time. I've seen a lot of folks have a very still and static follow through. That's fine as well. The key is do it the same way every time. So great questions, guys. Keep them coming. Be sure to comment below and give us a like and subscribe.